I've always been a unique person, you know what I mean? Sort of laid back in a way, but very adamant and very passionate about what I believe. I think a lot of times that sort of throws people off because they don't expect me to have the mindset or the process of thought that I do. And so when you come in to watch my channel, you may hear a myriad of thoughts and ideas that could be different from others. What I want you to do is just sit back, like, share, and subscribe. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Like our perspective. They trying to take my inheritance, this arrogance. I'm trying to save them the embarrassment. I spit truth, they forgetting what the marriage is. The meek shall inherit the earth, the rest perishes. They taught us all to listen to Balaam with their palace and their caliphate. I'm destined for Salem, man, they rest is counterfeit. Plus it's destined to fail them. Shake the dust off this city, man. Who coming with me? There's a light at the end of it. I see you shine, getting life with the benefits. That's me and mine, holding fast to the legacy, whether the rain or shine. Do you remember where we're from? Pray you strength to carry on. Will you step into the sun? Do you remember where we're from? Pray you strength to carry on. Will you step into the sun? Holding fast to the legacy, whether the rain or shine. It's mine, it's mine, it's
Well, hello, and welcome to Saturday Night is Live. It's me, 'tis I, Felicia. And I hope that everybody is having a great day. As you can see by the title tonight, it is Juneteenth and more. Hello, how are you, Awesome Alice? Robo Man, I know, right? He's got it going on. Ronnie Man's got it going on. So, okay, we're looking at this date that they have declared with amnesia as Juneteenth. And I say with amnesia because I think it's quite comical. You know, I remember, not that I am trying to say that I'm trying to, how should I say it? I'm not trying to say that I like the orange man. I'm not trying to say that at all. But what I am trying to say is how quickly we forget, how quickly we forget. I'm going to read this first story, and I'm sitting here cracking up laughing like the Cheshire cat because I really do have some stuff I want to lay on you guys, but I know you guys would remember because again, this is the smartest chat on YouTube. And I'm just going to read this story and then I'm going to chuckle a little bit, show you a couple of slides off of Instagram. Then I'm going to chuckle a little bit more. And then I'm going to get down to the meat and the potatoes of the whole entire thing. Now, let's get into this story. It says Minneapolis marks Juneteenth after official holiday recognition. This here says some residents see the move to declare Juneteenth as a holiday as tokenistic, and others see it as a sign of hope. And I want to focus on the people who are looking at it as hopeful. This story comes from Al Jazeera, and it's by a young lady named Cinnamon Janzer. The date is today, June 19th, 2021. Minneapolis, United States. On a sunny summer day, on a sunny summer morning in George Floyd Square. Now, I'm not going to stop, although I'm so tempted. In George Floyd Square, a gardener lights Palo Santo in a small wooden dish near the now infamous black and white mural of Floyd. In an adjacent church parking lot, an inflatable SpongeBob-themed bouncy house has been erected. Inside, the kids are bouncing around and kicking in the inflatable beach ball as the hot dogs and burgers and the brats simmer on a black barrel grill nearby. For Juneteenth this year, it's something special. We're focusing on, this is a quote, we're focusing on the future, and the future is the kids. James Johnson of Worldwide Outreach for Christ Church tells Al Jazeera, he says, quote, for it now to be a national holiday is something special, and we want to express that, end quote. June 19th or Juneteenth commemorates the day that the Union soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas, and told the enslaved Africans that they were free. More than 2 years after the end of the Civil War and President Abraham Lincoln signing of the Emancipation Proclamation that declared that all slaves are free. Let me have a sip of my coffee here. All right. All right. Celebrations began the following year to commemorate the event, and the date has been celebrated as something of a second Independence Day for the Black community ever since. In recent decades, the movement to make Juneteenth an official holiday has grown in Minneapolis, and the city's Human Resources Department recommended in April to make Juneteenth the city's 12th paid holiday. On May 14th, the Minneapolis City Council made it official, followed by the country as a whole when President Biden signed Juneteenth into national, as a national Independence Day. Okay, so yeah, as Juneteenth National Independence Day Act into law on June 17th. Well, of course he did. I mean, he's a brilliant guy, right? Everything comes out of his head as an original idea and an original thought, as he's an awesome president, right? Yeah. While jubilant celebrations were taking place across Minneapolis and its twin city of St. Paul on Saturday, some events have nothing to do with the recent moves by the local federal government. It changes nothing, Kevin Reese, the founder of Until We Are All Free, a Minneapolis-based human rights focused organization led by formerly imprisoned people, tells Al Jazeera. He was preparing to host a community event in the afternoon at the South Minneapolis Cafe featuring local performers and artists alongside opportunities for prayer and community conversation. He says, quote, it's another tokenizing gesture from America toward the descendants of slaves. It really does nothing. And there's nothing America can do short of reparations that would satisfy me, end quote. Before this year, Until We Are Free partnered with other community groups during the previous Juneteenth, but this year they're holding their own block party event because of the group's continuous growth, saying, quote, this is and will be our first annual event. We're preparing for 500 people. Okay. It goes on to say that just weeks after the Minneapolis designated this Juneteenth holiday, Mayor Jacob Fry began pushing for George Floyd Square, which has been barricaded by the community since Floyd's death, to be open to traffic again. All right, let me come back over here where you guys are. I want to say hello to Awesome Alice, Old Head Deuce. How are you? Sandy, hey, all. Oh, Lord, Floyd Square. Salute, Old Head. And the sarcasm is real. Yeah. So let me tell you why. But before I do, I want to take you here to a few posts that are on Instagram. And I really want to focus on one thing, and that is how quickly we forget. That is what I really want to focus on. And I got to be fair. I have to be fair across the board. All right, let's see. What is this? Juneteenth. This person says, dream like Martin, lead like Harriet, fight like Malcolm, write like Maya, speak like Frederick, dare like Shirley, think like Garvey, reclaim like Maxine. Maxine who? I know who they don't mean. Anyway, educate like W.E.B. Boy. Challenge like Rosa, inspire like Obama, and win like Kamala. Oh, boy. I don't know where to start. Boy, you know what? Sometimes I don't even want to start because I feel like once I get on a rant, then people be thinking I'm crazy, but I really don't care. Michael's name, Martin, his name was Michael. Dream like Martin, his real name is Michael. His daddy's name was Michael. They changed it when a grown man had a son. They changed his name is Michael. Harriet, the story is probably not even accurate because no one knows the whole story. But we do know that while this whole Harriet thing was going on, that somebody was changing the dates and the name and everything on the document that earned finances that would go to her deceased or allegedly deceased spouse. Look this up, okay? I'm not going to mess with Malcolm. I'm going to leave him alone. Maya, yeah, okay, her and Oprah. The whole Frederick thing, the whole Frederick Douglass thing, the Frederick Douglass thing is also, his face is also being used as another man. And I'm not even going to get into him right now, but they're using his face to say he's somebody else. All right. All of these people, including especially W.E.B. Du Bois. W.E.B. was used to keep us in a certain state and to add insult to injury with us. Do you understand what I'm saying? So a lot of the stuff that W.E.B. did was, oh no, it was just a mess. So I just feel like when I look at all of this stuff and when I see all the things that they've got going on, it just makes me wonder why and how anybody could not know what's really going on. That disturbs me at best. It does. It disturbs me because it's like, okay, you got all of this Juneteenth, dream like this one, do like that one. Oh, that was cute. They had a fat thing, but I just lost that. There was another Juneteenth one. Let's go through here and just look at them. But nonetheless, that's what the person put up. But you got all of these fake things that you've done absolutely no, you've done absolutely zero research on any of the people that you're saying, oh, this is what Juneteenth is all about. Now that's, oh goodness gracious, now I can't find it. Don't you hate that? I don't like that. But here it is. Happy Juneteenth, Freedom Day. Now, remember a couple of years ago when everybody said, I don't care. I just want him gone. I just want him out. Right? I just want him out. I can't find the rest of it. Anyway, it doesn't matter because there's stuff all over the place right now. Look at that. Oh, there's some Juneteenth fingernails. There you go. June 1865. Yeah, let's just, can you cook? Would you trust the food if you ate them at this house? I don't know. I know I wouldn't. What else can you do with these? You can't do nothing with these. There's some important things that need to be done on a daily basis, and I doubt very strongly that you can handle that. And then there are some things that need to be done every time you go into the ladies' room, and I don't know how effective you could be with these, but nonetheless, I digress. But she's got Juneteenth fingernails. There she goes, 1865. All right, let's see. What else do we got? What else do we have? Let's look for some more Juneteenth stuff. Let's see. These folks here, no. Let's see. More. Nah, I don't see any more. But nonetheless, the part that really gets me is that we have a very, very short memory. We have a very, very short memory. And let's go. I want to show you why we have a short memory. Don't see anymore, but I saw the thing where everybody was talking about think like this one and do like that. Okay, let's see. Juneteenth, a holiday celebrated on June 19th to commemorate the emancipation of enslaved people in the U.S. Enslaved people in the U.S. I'm guaranteeing you guys that in another 20 years, everything that happened to those enslaved individuals that they're talking about is not going to be about them, but it will be about the alphabet groups, the LGBTQ, elemental P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Zs. At that point, that's who it's going to be about, because that's what they're erasing. With every one of the statues that they're taking down, that's what they're erasing. Don't sit up here and act like y'all don't notice that. Okay, they get enough of y'all to start blending together and you don't even notice nobody after that. Oh yeah, gonna be all looking like one human. Freedom to the slaves. Okay. Misconceptions about Juneteenth. They've got it all listed here. This is from Lifetime TV. Whereas the President of the United States did on this day, yada, 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 the proclamation, yada, yada. Okay. Now, let me show you something. Okay. Let me show you something. All right. Here we go. Now, hello to everybody. What else we got? Okay, people forget Trump tried to pass Juneteenth and while he was in office. Evening, sis. Hi, how are you, Angela? How are you doing? Good to see you, sister. All right, so this video was made last year, and I want to show you guys this video. Okay, because I want to tell you guys that to hear people constantly, well, at that time, I don't care nothing about him. He's a racist and he doesn't like anybody and he this and that. You know, all of that might be true. I don't know the man. I never lived with the man, not one day in my life.
To get a notification
but I do know
each time I upload
this video right here.
Hit the subscribe.
Let's make sure that you guys can hear it. So let me let you guys hear this. Okay, let's see.
Plan for Black Americans. Opportunity, security, prosperity, and fairness. Building on his record of promises made,
Start it again.
Get a notification each time I upload. Please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. Thank you.
On September 25th, 2020, President Trump released his Platinum Plan for Black Americans. Opportunity, security, prosperity, and fairness. Building on his record of promises made, promises kept, President Donald J. Trump has released the Platinum Plan for Black America, which will uplift Black communities across the country through a $500 billion investment. After years of neglect by Democrat politicians, Black Americans have finally found a true advocate in President Trump, who is working tirelessly to deliver greater opportunities, security, prosperity, and fairness to their communities. While Joe Biden takes Black voters for granted and even questions their Blackness if they dare to support conservative ideals, President Trump is working hard to earn the Black vote through his Platinum Plan. His plan will increase access to capital, fuel Black-owned businesses, cut taxes, increase education opportunities, lower the cost of health care, further criminal justice reform, make Juneteenth a national holiday, promise to prosecute the KKK and Antifa as terrorist organizations, and make lynching a national hate crime. Across America, Black leaders are coming together to express their support for President Trump's second-term agenda. Calvin Tucker, Black Voices for Trump Advisory Board member, says, quote, President Trump has achieved more for Black America in 4 years than Joe Biden has in 4 decades. From 3 million new jobs to 500,000 additionally Black-owned businesses, President Trump generated unprecedented opportunity for the Black community, and he's the only candidate on the ballot who can do it again, end quote. K. Carl Smith from Black Voices says, though Black Americans have traditionally been shut out of opportunities to grow our own businesses and create generational wealth, President Trump is working hard to give us access to the American dream. Unlike career politicians like Joe Biden, President Trump is a businessman and understands that pride, community, and dedication are built through entrepreneurship, end quote. President Trump's Platinum Plan is a 4-year program, which means if he is reelected, then over the next 4 years after reelection, he plans to dole these items out. Now, here's what I hope. If this is something that he can do, And if he is reelected, I hope that he follows through, because there's nothing worse than to give people hope and then take it away. This is Felicia Lockhart, and this has been the Lockhart Perspective.
All right, so that was the video that I did last year, September. Now, not saying that I love him, not saying that I dislike him. You all already know that I got off the Trump train over a year ago. I made it public, made a whole lot of people mad, made some enemies of some loved ones and friends, but they'll be okay. Mr. Naranga was the one who actually did this. And for people who want to see it a little further, down below, now what I was reading was actually the press release for that. So that's what I was reading. The copy that I read was the press release, and here it is right here. It's also down below that video that I just got through playing. It's there as well. All right, so this is the Platinum Plan two-sider V5 PDF. That's this right here, right? The Platinum Plan, President Trump's pillars. Here it is: opportunity, security, prosperity, and fairness. I read the copy exactly as it is written. And down here, right there, make Juneteenth a national holiday. And the reason why it's darker there is because I had to push the control find to find it. But right there, make Juneteenth a national holiday. All right. There you go. Let's go a little bit more here. That's the PDF, all broken down into nice little pieces. Yep. But make Juneteenth a national holiday is right there. It's going to highlight everything right there. Fuel Black farmers and access to healthy foods to address food disparities. All right. Okay. So my point is that Black folks have a very short memory. And not only do they have a very short memory, they're easy to purchase. I said it. Because if all it does, all you got to do is give somebody a day, then that's a problem. And here's the deal. The reason why I say it's a problem is because if we're looking at things historically, then things should be done historically. I know a lot of people are talking about the reparations piece of it. But does anybody remember that back years ago, they did do something for reparations? And what they did is they made people believe that they were going to work on the reparations. And by they, I mean the United States government. Now, we did give reparations to Japan. Yes, we did. You know, they did something to us and then we retaliated. And then after that, after we retaliated to say we're sorry for retaliating, we paid all of the descendants and those folks in that day, all the Japanese, the United States government paid. For slavery, the reparations was done. Now, these are things that may make a lot of people upset, but it's okay because facts are facts. We can all stand on the side of the facts that we want. All I'm doing is just doing the Joe Friday. Just the facts, ma'am. That's all I'm doing is give you the facts. But the UK just got through paying for reparations there. Okay. But for Black people in this place, I am amazed that we're not looking at things that should be done across the board for our own community. We will take somebody giving us a little bit of butter as opposed to teaching us how to do X, Y, or Z, or learning how to do X, Y, or Z and then sell the butter. We don't have our dollars bouncing within our community the way that they should. We will go into other communities, however, whether it be the weave store and buy the weave hair. We'll go buy the weave eyelashes. We'll go do the nails. We'll go put all of those dollars into other communities versus to put them within our own community. And then we holler that we need equality when we are the ones that are stabbing ourselves in the back. And we're not making people accountable for things that they said in the past. Every single thing in the United States is based on, something that's been said or something that's been legislated. There's been some notification of something, and now you've got to follow through with it. For example, if you decide that you, don't have health insurance under the Obamacare deal, if you don't have health insurance, then you're going to get charged when you do your taxes. Well, they wrote that. It was written, and now what just happened? It just got tossed out. So now everything that stood then stands now. And they keep their word. But if you try not to keep your word, if you don't go and get that insurance and then you try to do your taxes, you're going to have to pay for not having it. All right. So that's the way they wrote it. Every other law, every other piece of legislation that goes through, you can be held accountable if you don't do it. Well, I'm just asking this question. They're the ones who said, and by they, again, I mean the government. So it doesn't matter how long ago we did not comply with what we were supposed to comply with. They will come and get you if you don't take care of your taxes. If you don't believe me, try it and let me know how it worked out for you. But if you don't do it on any front, they will make you accountable. And it doesn't matter if it was 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years ago. If you still breathing, and you still got the same social security number, they come and boo-boo, trust and believe it. So here's my question. Didn't nobody tell nobody to give nobody 40 acres and a mule? But if you look like me, where's your 40 acres? I know it's going to make a lot of people upset. Again, a Native American woman, grandfather, grandmama, everybody Native American, we all had our own land. Some of them, the elders got cheated for the sharecropping piece, thought they were going to be, learning how to mechanize the farmland that they had been tilling and taking care of for hundreds of years. Mama, them. But where the 40 acres? Where the mule? Oh, but I tell you what, let me give you a day off. Let me give you a day off and see how happy you're going to. Listen, I'm going to give you a day off. And do you think you can maybe take out the good old patent leather Capezio with the nice little tap on the front and the back and do me a little jig? Truth hurts, but it's the truth. Truth hurts, but it's the truth. When this first came out last year and I put it over there on Instagram, I saw people, who cares? I don't care what he does. I just hate him. I just want him to go. Okay, cool. No problem. I'm not saying you need to like him, love him, or any of that. What I'm trying to tell you is y'all the same folk that was just saying that this cat couldn't do nothing good. And now here this is. And now this old senile man signs off on it. And you guys are just hailing him the hero. But it's all garbage. It doesn't matter who it was that brought the topic up. It does not matter who brought the topic up. It doesn't. Not one bit does it matter. Because if you don't go back and you don't do what you're supposed to do correctly the first time, then you're going to have a problem. And that's exactly what I see right now. You guys, do me a big favor. If you haven't already hit the like button, please hit the like button. It does help usher other people in. And it lets us know if you like it or don't like it. Just tell me one way or another. I love you no matter what. Okay. And remember, none of the videos are monetized anymore. So I do not click the monetization button. I do not click it. No, I don't. No clicking of the monetization button. So nothing is monetized. And if you'd like to, you're welcome to donate however you see fit. There on the main screen is the information for both PayPal as well as the Cash App. Okay. So I'm just wondering, at what point do we face the music and say, well, listen, since you said you were going to do X, Y, or Z, let's go on ahead and go back to what you said. Because I know that if I don't pay my taxes, even if I didn't pay it 40 years ago or 30 years ago, you're going to let it accrue and you're going to let some interest go, and then I'm going to have to pay you. So why don't we just use the same principle, because you guys are the one who made the principle, right? And then do what you say you were going to do. It's only a problem when you remind somebody of something. And again, I don't have any skin one way or the other in the game. You know why? Because I came here one way and I'm going to leave here one way. Period. Just like, my mom and them didn't do anything to the Japanese, and the taxes that went to go take care of the reparations to help take care of the Japanese people, the grandmama, everybody had to pitch in and pay it until it was done. Or, you know what I mean? Are they still paying it? Who knows? My point is, Fair across the board is fair across the board. And people who have amnesia, Black folks, with this whole, oh my goodness, isn't this wonderful? We have a Kamala. We have a Kamala, and Kamala is this. Kamala is not, she is not what you are, dude. You let people pander to you all the time. You let people lie to you all the time. You let people give them any color shade. If you got a tan and that person identifies with being who you are, you're just as mentally ill as anybody else. You accept it. Oh, well, that's what they said they identify with. You quack. Go in a bank and try that yourself. Oh, I'm an Anglo woman. Standing there, a 6'5" Black man, but I'm an Anglo woman. You idiot. They will toss your tail in jail. Now, I'm going to talk about this here stuff because I'm not going to be on here long today. But what I am going to talk about is the whole thing with them doing this George Floyd Square. Lord have mercy. George Floyd Square. How do you explain that to a Black child, that he can be anything he wants to be, that any child in that community could be anything they want to be? Just come on down to George Floyd Square. Well, how did he get this name? How did this square get this name, Grandmama? Mama, how did the square get that name? Where did the name come from? Where did the name come from? George Floyd Square. They take the lowest of the low, and I'm not saying this man is low, rest his soul. I don't have a bone or, dog in that hunt at all. I don't have nothing in that hunt, but I'm going to say this. You want our children to remember George Floyd, and there are so many people who have done exceptional things. What about the man who's owned the business in that community for several years? Did he not deserve a square? A man who's been an upstanding citizen in that community, did he not deserve a square? Well, that's just the way. There are George Floyd's. There's a George Floyd Square. There are George Floyd statues. Everything George Floyd. And I'm highly concerned about it. But you know what? This is not the type of stuff that people really want to hear. Nope, they don't want to hear that, because what I'm saying right now is, it's just not nice. People don't want to hear that. They want to hear other things. Like, oh, yeah, we need to be remembering George Floyd. Why? I'm saddened by the man's death. I don't think it was a good idea. I don't think it was a good deal. I get it. But nobody could say, hey, wait a minute, I don't want to give him a square, because the whole entire act from the beginning. Now, let me ask you this. If the poor little gentleman had not passed away, would we be giving him a square for the alleged passing of this alleged counterfeit money? Would he have received a square then? Would he have received a mural then? I don't mean to, ask the hard questions, but it's just a question. And why are we not taking the local physician in that community, maybe a doctor, or maybe somebody who just drives the bus and who makes it on time every day, a man who gets up and goes to work all the time and takes care of his family? Why aren't we hailing those men heroes, just the standard man, maybe even a barber in a community who's been there for 30 years, who's worked his rump off, who's made sure that his children, his grandchildren, and some of the boys in the community have staved off crime? Why isn't he the hero? It's just a question. And I know a lot of people aren't going to like me asking the question, but I'm okay with that. But it's Juneteenth, and we're proud of having a holiday. That's it. People can tell you what they're going to give you all the time. Okay? People can tell you what they're going to give you all the time. All the time. And then they don't have to do it. And then you're like, well, it's okay, as long as we have the right to vote. And you know what? I mean, they gave us the right to do this. And now, how are you going to give me the right to do something? And the part about it that really gets me is the fact that history and whatever you can get out of the history that we're able to glean, all of these things are public record. Do you know that they make you feel as if you've gotten something with this whole right to vote? Had that ever been taken care of? You do not have the right to vote. Did you know that, Black person? Do you know that a president has to take and sign that into, he just has to reenact it all the time for your right to vote, because you don't have the right to vote. Did you know that? Look it up. What happened when King was headed there to have them take care of all of this and do the money, give the money back? And, for the Native Americans who were all born here, who were supposed to get the money to sort of, fix the whole Dawes Roll, who had all of the white people that were shoved onto the Dawes Roll to get that money going forward. They changed up the Choctaw Nation, changed up the Cherokee Nation, changed up Creek Nation. They took all of the ones that they considered, quote, civilized tribes, and they allowed them and people who looked like others to get on those rolls. And now you have people who literally were born on reservations who cannot get their names on those rolls because it has been manipulated. It has been manipulated. And you got a whole bunch of folks. You got Spaniards, you've got Hispanics, you got all kinds of people who are posing to be something that they're not, all over the place. Why? I do not know. I don't understand the nature of it. I don't understand the hatred of it. I don't. We are the only individuals who change consistently. People who look like me were the only people who our names have changed. Where is the country black? Until Jesse Jackson went into Congress and said, hey, me and these folks here, we want to say that we want you guys to call us African American. He did not ask anybody I know for their permission to do that. I'm not African American. The whole thing stinks. I hope you make it over there. The whole thing stinks. What country, where can you go to a place called black? Where is black? Oh, we're just an American. No, everything has an origin. Find out the truth. What is the truth? Tell the truth. And you don't have to change our names every couple of years. You don't have to go from calling us Negro to color to whatever else you want to call us, and then to black, and then to African American, and then to... We are the only people that change. I'm just asking a question, and I understand that people can get upset and people can get angry, but aren't you a little curious as to why we change so often? When my mama never told me about anybody coming over in a ship, my mama's mama never ever said anybody came over from any place. They were Native American. I'm not saying all. I'm just talking about my lineage, and I'm trying to understand, where is the place called black? Nobody can tell us. And yet we have people who are ecstatic about it having this Juneteenth thing, and I'm happy that they're ecstatic. But if you're going to talk about something, at least know some of it. At least know something. At least know some of the history. That's all I'm asking for. So let's see. Sherry Be Cool says, this godless world is upside down. George Floyd probably is living it up with Epstein and the other actors. Oh, Sherry Be Cool. I'm with you. The clone died. Yep. That means that you know what I know. Okay. Long before what you guys saw, that happened. Ozymalis, yikes. So true, Ozymalis. You know how many young people to like to be famous. Can you just imagine? Okay, Oseo. Probably Be Cool says, I learned Cherokee had written language. Oh, that is awesome. Awesome, Alice. That is awesome. Yes, ma'am. Many didn't want to put their name on the rolls because they did not trust the government. Well, you know what, Sarah? It's even worse than that. What ended up happening is when they went to go and put their names on the roll, they were not permitted to, but they did give the ability for the Anglo people or the white people to put their names on the roll, and all they had to do was pay $5. So they paid the $5 and they had their names added to the Dawes rolls, or all of that. They added their names, and then they had really kooky names that they had given themselves, like, Chief Running Water or Chief something, just really outlandish names. My middle name is Tawana. And so it's nothing like Chief running water or any of that stuff. But my point is they paid and they had their names put on those rolls and they paid $5 for it. And that's where you hear the term $5 Indian. The $5 Indian came from them adding their names onto the Dawes rolls, and they were literally European people, which is the reason why, oh girl, the one that the former president called Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, only had that little teeny microscopic tiny amount of Native American blood in her. That's the reason why he was bold enough to tell her, okay, I'll give you money if you can pass it. Well, he knew she couldn't pass it because his family knows the history. His family knows the truth, and he knew the truth. And that's why he was saying it, because he knew it was a sure bet. And so that's where the term $5 Indian comes from. $5 Indians term comes from the fact that they were selling the name to put their names on the Dawes roll. Okay. And then after that, they took like anything that had to do with the scroll where their names were on it for people who look like me. They took those scrolls, and for example, my children's grandfather, paternal grandfather, their father's dad was born on a reservation. His parents were born on a reservation. All of their names are on the scrolls as showing this person had this person had that person. They do not recognize the scroll, even though he was born on a plantation. I say plantation, even though he was born on a plantation, because that's exactly what they are. They're plantations. Okay. The reservations are literally plantations. Okay. With the U.S. government being the massa. All right. He was born and his family was born there on a reservation. His name is on a scroll, and they will not recognize that. So there is nothing that my family can do, my kids can do. Nothing. Why? Because they ain't no $5 Indian. So what I say is, I don't want any more pandering from anybody. All I want is truth. Even if after truth is done, I'm broke. I don't care. I'm not rich now. I don't have money now. And so big deal. Is it about money or is it about truth? If you make us pay when you have a tax issue, and it doesn't matter how long ago the tax issue was, then all things that you say you should do. Everything that you say you should do. And this is for white, black, green, orange, yellow, purple. It does not matter. Whatever they tell us, they should do it. And if they're not going to do it, then they shouldn't say anything. Moreover, when are we going to make sure that they're accountable for what they're doing? What's the end game? I don't know if there is one. I don't know. I really don't. I really don't. Okay. And a lot of the children that were taken from the places where I see you all are talking about the adopted children, those children were not adopted out back in the day. I don't know what's going on now, but back in the day, they were not adopted out. A lot of those children were kidnapped, taken, and moved. Canada and other places. Yeah, I don't get why we pay land taxes, Ozamala says, every year if we don't own the property. Hello? Exactly. So, I don't know. I just thought I would come here because I kept seeing all these posts, everybody talking about, oh, Juneteenth. Oh, right. It's the Black Day. I'm like, goodness gracious, you guys are easy. You guys are easy. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. No accountability, no looking back through history, no pulling out any records and showing, okay, on this day, this was said. And it doesn't matter whether you agree with it or not. Making them accountable is what I'm trying to say. That is, please believe that's what I mean. I mean the accountability of it. Okay. My Papa's family are from Woodbury, Tennessee. A large group fled the relocation into the Tennessee mountains. Yeah, a lot of people did. In the Trail of Tears, where my family, all down there in the Louisiana and all down there in Mississippi and all that, they migrated and they moved them all by foot. People died, all kinds of stuff. But I don't know. I just think that it would be great if people really knew the truth. Because when Elizabeth Warren took that test, it had me cracking up laughing. It had me cracking up laughing. I said, I know she wasn't going to pass because that ain't no Indian. That is not an Indian. When the Indians are even in the old movies, they know what an Indian look like. They know what a real native looks like. Even in old cowboy movies. Okay? They even knew what they look like. They even knew how they sound. They even knew that some of those tribes that was scattered were here. That's the reason why you see a lot of those old movies and the same phrase that they make when they are depicting an Indian or a native or a relocated Hebrew is hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, ya, ya. We know it. It's time for everybody to stop playing polite and be real. That's what time it is. Because that's the only way that any of us are going to coexist is if we make people accountable to tell the whole truth instead of believing fabrications. And that's what the whole upside down world thing has been all along. The whole entire upside down, backwards, all of the above. And so it's time to be accountable. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, Ozymandias, some of them did own slaves, but you know what? So did the people who sold some of the Hebrews that were sold in the lower portion of Africa. So if you have the southern western portion of Africa, people say, oh, well, you know, the black people sold those slaves. Who they were selling was the jewelry that was actually in Nigeria. There was jewelry in Nigeria, and they took those people from the center of Nigeria that were scattered from, okay, the Yasharal that was scattered from where they were originally before the Father threw them to all four corners of the earth. One of the corners is here, they're all four corners of the earth. But what ended up happening was the people would love to say, oh, you know what? The black people are the people who sold those slaves. No, they were not. You know who that was that sold them? Remember the story of the amazing Technicolor dream coat? Do you remember the story of the beautiful coat, the beautiful colored coat that the father made for the son and the brothers sold him into slavery? Do you remember that? Do you remember that? It's the same principle. They were related, but they were not brothers. They were not the same. The Arabians, the Arabs, are the ones who sold Yasharal, who are from Nigeria. And what they call Nigeria is Niger town, Niggertown, on old maps. If you get an old map, you will see that it says Nigger town. That is where a part of Yasharal was scattered. And that is the reason why you have a lot of stories or some of the history where people are really honest. There was a very nice young man, a white guy who had done a great documentary, and he was able to trace all the way back, and he was transparent. He was honest. He took a lot of flack for it, but he traveled all the way back, and he goes, look, do you see these people right here? They're Nigerian, but they're keeping Hebrew customs. That's because that's who they were. And unlike us here in the United States, they were able to continue to trace back and keep all of the customs that they were supposed to keep. So a lot of those people that you see that were sold, they were not sold by themselves. They were sold by the Arabians and the Arabs that were taught how to do that. And I'm not going to go into how they were taught or who taught them, but it will blow your mind when you find out who taught them how and who helped them to do it. Okay? Because they've been followed for quite some time. I know people probably don't like it, but it's all right. Don't get mad. Get right. Do the study. Look it up. Okay. All right. Just look it up and you'll see. And again, like we said the other day, you know, some of the things that we all learn about one another should make us angry. What I don't know about you and I find out later, it should make me angry that somebody actually lied to me about you. Because the only thing that makes us free is truth. That's the only thing that makes us free. Whole and total truth. Nathan Hale was cool. We're told I'm in. Okay. Evening, Anthony Van Zandt. How are you? Sarah B. Cool says, I'm white, but this race BS has got to stop. We are moving backwards fast. There you go, sister. And let me tell you something. There's only one race, and that's the human race, but there are ethnicities. And even the Bible told us about ethnos and ethnicities, right? And so it is important for us to know who we are so that we don't allow anybody to be able to manipulate us with this whole race BS. Sherry Bukula is absolutely right. Absolutely right. But the deal is we need truth. We need truth. Okay. Alza Malice, Sarah Brown says, that's what a Chickasaw freedman is, a Chickasaw slave. Yeah. And so when you consider the slaves that were here, yeah, they did go catch African slaves because there was a portion of African slaves that did come here. Yeah, there was a whole lot more people from here that traveled over that water and went into South America, which is why you have such a highly concentrated amount of Brazil that had to be whitewashed when the United States purchased the travel for people coming from Spain, because they took the people who were here, took them into Brazil, and they teach you the story backwards. The people who were here, they took them from here and took them into Brazil, into South America. Those little places are easier to get to than it is to take people, all them millions of people. You want me to believe when I was a travel agent, it was amazing for me to even send somebody on a world tour. People get retired, husband and wife travel and do a world tour. They go and do a world tour. Do you know how long that takes? So you want me to believe that you were able to take how many millions of slaves from Africa to here? All of those different trips on ships that were simply cargo ships. When you look at the manifests and you're able to see that how many people came over on them? It's amazing. It's amazing. But my point is it's not up for argument. It's up for us to love each other enough to study it. It's for us to love one another, to study. Whenever anybody gives me a lie about you, I need to be able to look it up. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Sarah. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they were. Whenever anybody, they would actually say, okay, you go and you catch this person. Here's the bounty. We want you to go get them. And here's the bounty. Here's the amount. Yeah. But my high cheekbones. Okay. I got high cheekbones too. Okay. You be all over it, good sister friend. Thank you, Fifi. As a note, tuned in late yet the sought. Largest. Yes, they are. They were and they are. Yes, that's exactly right. And you know who they are right now. They are not. Oh, let me stop. I can't. I don't even want to go there. It's amazing because you have to really dumb down for a lot of things. And I think it's because of the fact that when truth is out, people don't appreciate that. And I don't mean like us people. I mean people above people, because they don't want anybody to know the truth. Because see, here's the deal. Their internet was both a blessing for them and a curse. It was both a blessing and a curse. It was a blessing because they could make you think or know whatever you want. But before they were able to do that, and before it was sold, it was a lot of information. Before that, it was moved over to somebody else. It was a lot of information that you could still find. My favorite thing is not looking on the internet. Is like, I love going to the library, pulling out that little card file and looking in there. I like looking at old microfiche. I like paying for things to read. I like going. So when you put it out there like that and you've got somebody who really loves it, I don't argue with people. I just ask you to politely and lovingly prove me wrong by giving me some substantiated evidence that says what I just said is incorrect. And I don't mean something that has been whitewashed after whitewashed after whitewashed after whitewashed. And by whitewash, I mean, regurgitated after regurgitated after regurgitated. Don't bring me something like that. You know what I mean? You know how people will bring you some information like, yeah, but man, where did this come from? Little man, they said it. You be like, who is they? You be like, well, who is they? Who is they? You know what I mean? You be trying to figure out who is they. And so that's the reason why we have to really get down to the nitty gritty, because lies will continue to keep us separated from one another if we don't understand truth. if we don't understand that there is just one race and that there are many ethnicities, and we already saw that in the study that we did the other night, that yeah, there are several different ethnicities, but it doesn't make anybody any better. However, don't lie about it and then cover up the reason why you're lying. So everybody can be happy that they got Juneteenth. Everybody can be happy. But again, it's so easy to lie to Black folks. They are so gullible and they want to believe that Biden did it. And Camel Toe is a Black woman. On what planet? I don't care what she is. I'm talking about the difference between the lie and truth. I did a video and I told everybody, I said, okay, watch out now, because he just got through saying he's going to choose a woman of color. And I went over a few women that he could have chosen. You know, the nice lady out there in Florida, I've chose a couple of other people. And I was like, okay, he could go here. He could go there. He could use this person. He could use that person. Who knows? But the one thing that I did say was, I don't think you guys are going to like it. I think you're going to be very shocked when you see who he chooses. And he changed it from I'm going to get a Black woman to a person or a woman of color. Do you guys remember that? He changed it from I'm going to get a Black woman to a woman of color. And when he changed that, I said, then, okay. Aha. Be ready, because we're so gullible and we believe anything anybody tells us. And it doesn't matter. We believe it. We take it lock, stock, and barrel. Lock, stock, and barrel, we take it. Okay? But I do remember, and I'm going to let you guys go in a second, but I just want you to see something right quick. Look here. Here's the video right here, because I know that you guys will remember it once you see it. But my point is that it's so easy to lie to Black people. And that is the reason why everybody is chomping down the candy bars, because they believe it. They've been so indoctrinated with stuff and they just believe it. So here you go.
Hey, folks, before this video gets started, I want to say one thing. When Joe Biden said he was going to definitely choose a woman of color, I really don't think you guys are prepared for what good old Joe meant. Well, there are a lot of rumors floating around out there that good old Joe Biden has somewhat chosen his running mate. And that comes from the AP, who said that when they took photos of him coming off of the podium speaking, that he had a handwritten set of notes in his hand. And on there was the term VP list. And then there were several attributes. Well, CNN grabbed a hold of that and they said they think that it's Kamala Harris. I frankly don't think this man knows who he wants to choose, because to me, you go in a game like this knowing who you want to see stand beside you on the day that you would be elected should you win. And I think that he doesn't really give a rip. Frankly, I think these people are actually putting him up to it. And right now, he just really wants to go to sleep. I think all Joe Biden is really concerned with is, hey, when do we get the prunes and oatmeal? And is anybody going to bring me my Geritol? I'm really ready to go to sleep. That's what I think. And so I think that with them thinking that it's Kamala Harris, it just might upset the apple cart, because there are a lot of people out there that don't think that it'll be her. Now, why do I say that? Because there's a lot of stuff that she's got in her closet that if she were to be named as his running mate, they would absolutely demolish her and it would tear up things pretty bad. Now, Kamala Harris is a very smart woman. She's a beautiful lady. And aesthetically, I could see her standing beside him because, well, he is the kind of guy that likes pretty people. He loves pretty women. And I think that would possibly be the only thing that he would choose her for, is her looks and the fact that she is Black. But there is also a rumor out there that he could choose Val Deming out of Florida. And if that's the case, gee whiz, that would be a smart move. Now, Florida Maquis here on YouTube, he keeps saying that it's going to be her. It's going to be her because if he's going to win, he's got to pull her out of the hat. So it's got to be Val Deming. And honestly, I agree. But I just think she's a bit too strong for Joe. And I think that she would not be as manipulating or as manipulative or malleable as Kamala. I think that she's got a strong jaw, stronger than Mr. Joe's is. And I don't think that she would take being pushed around too much. I don't. I could see her maybe giving it up after maybe a year, saying, y'all can have this. I gotta go. Y'all can do this yourself. I ain't gonna be the one to be your puppet. But then again, she could shock us all. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that it would be Kamala Harris? And if you do, why? Or do you think that could be somebody like this nice lady, Val Deming? I don't know. I could tell you one thing that would definitely shock everybody, and that is if he didn't choose a Black woman at all, if he chose a Latina, or if he chose a Warren or somebody like that. Heck, if he chose a Black man, no matter what it is, if he does not choose a Black woman, he's not going to even get enough votes to win vice president of a middle school. He's not. He's not. So let's just see what goes on, you guys. You all tell me what you think
And
down
he
below in the
didn't.
comments. Is it going to be Miss Kamala Harris? Is it going to be this nice lady right here, Val Deming? Or is it going to be somebody else? I wonder. Well, thank you guys for watching. This is Felicia Lockhart, and this has been the Lockhart Perspective.
All right. So he didn't win all them votes. He didn't. I don't care what nobody say. And I don't like none of them. But I ain't no fool, and I'm not going to sit up here and laugh at nobody. I already know. Y'all know too. Y'all already know. Y'all already know. And he didn't. No, he didn't. So my point is, he did exactly what I said at the top of that video. These people just never ever see. They never cease to amaze me. I'm not amazed. Anyway, you guys, it has been 1 hour and 1 minute and 35 seconds. I had to come on here and crack up laughing about the whole Juneteenth thing and how everybody was just wanting to see Mr. Naranga, Mr. Orange Man, go away. And then as soon as he went away, they just didn't care what he had to offer. And now you just saw at the top of the show, we read through the Platinum Plan. We saw the video from the Platinum Plan, and it is what it is. My point, don't lie to us and then pander to us. But to my point and to everybody else who's looking, you see they lie. After they lie to the Black community, watch the pattern. They tell the Black community they're going to do something. Then they lie, and then they do enough propaganda to make the Black community feel like, who cares? I'm still not going to vote for him because I don't like that person, or I'm not going to wear this, or I'm not going to do that, because they do the propaganda, and then the Black folk end up doing exactly what they wanted them to do in the very beginning. Just look at it. Just look at it. If somebody had they're laughing at us with this whole Floyd Square thing. They really are. They really are. They know on so many levels, they are cracking up laughing that we would literally allow our communities to have a street, a square, a park, or anything named after a man, unfortunately, who passed away in the manner in which he did. But to also, again, if we take away the fact that he passed away, would we have been giving this man a park for the crime that he allegedly committed? No, we would not. So why did anybody stand up and say, wait a minute now? What about Bubba the bus driver? He been driving the same bus for the past X amount of years. Why can't we hail Bubba the bus driver as a hero? We don't do any of that. And that's my problem. The accountability that we looking for other people, we don't even hold ourselves accountable. We don't even tell people, do not pander to us. We don't stop that. We don't stop the pandering at all. We don't. We don't stop it. We don't make people stop. So let's see here. Creepy Joe simply, these people really shouldn't be governing anything. The state of political theater, it's lowest it's ever been. Posturing lower. Yep. The Arizona audit is almost done. It's done. Yeah, but Oz Malice, girl, I don't know. I don't know, girl. I don't know. I don't know, Oz Malice. I don't know. They got the little baby got a little cell phone. He running around here with the music, with the whatever this garbage is he's watching, for the love of Pete. Amy Sweet says, just hopped on. I usually end up catching the upload. Okay, good. They pee on your leg and tell you it's raining. Sandy, I love you. Read that, y'all. They pee on your leg and they tell you it's raining. It's not me. And you're standing there right there with Mr. Johnson, and they're telling you that it's rain. You see that it's Mr. Johnson, but they're telling you that it's rain. I had to ask them to leave. They're so loud. Let's see. Or George Washington Carver, the Peanut Man. They lie to all of us. They consider. That's right. They do, Amy. They do. What about Sandra Bland? Did she get a statue? Okay, that's a good one, they said. It's just what to see. I just want to see what they find. I know, me too. Me too. All right, you guys, it is an hour. I just wanted to come on and ask everybody how you felt about the whole Juneteenth thing. And did anybody remember that it was inside of the Platinum Plan that the former president, had out? If anybody remembered it, I don't know if you did or didn't, but I'm glad you guys tuned in. And it was great to talk to you this evening here on Saturday Night is Live. Here at the Lockhart Perspective, we want to let everybody remember the one important thing that we always say, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. You guys take care and be blessed. Take care of one another. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping